This throwback story goes back quite a few years, and by the photo that you would have seen on the front there, you see I was a younger man. Back in those days, pigs were a lot bigger. We didn't have GPS, we had MN10, and so they got a chance to grow. If you bailed up a good boar, it would fight the dogs, and by the time you worked out where it was, quite often the bigger boars had won the battle and got away. Whereas today we've got GPS, they bail it up, and they don't get a chance to grow. You get there that quick and they get a bullet or they get the knife. This particular story is about a really good old hunting mate of mine, Kev. I used to have this Land Cruiser, a 3.4, loved it, 70 series, LX, turbo. And Kev and I used to put the old classic caravan and we used to go away and hunt Kena, Peru quite a bit, a lot of Maori. Kev was Maori, so we had access to places we normally wouldn't be able to get onto. And this particular day, we had my old dog Chun and his two dogs, Zach and Moy. And Zach hadn't been hunting for a while. He was a little bit unfit. He'd been boxed up a bit because Kev had a lot of work on. Chun was fit. And we got up in this gully along Kena, Peru there, one of the places where the walkway is not far from the main walk, and very quickly got onto a pig. Chun lifted it. Now Kev and I had divided up. I had Chun and he was on the other side of the gully, and we lifted this boar. It was 140 pound, and it broke towards Kev. Now Kev had this old, I think it was a 303, an old ex-army job, and it had misfired a couple of times in the past, and I said, bro, you need to get rid of that. One day it's going to cost you a lot more. And this particular day it did. This big old, dirty old, ugly boar came raging towards him, and his dog slowed down just enough for him to get the gun out, and as it came towards him, he loaded and pulled the trigger and click. And the thing went flying in towards him. Now, Zach, at this stage, was so badly pronged up by the boar, he'd been doing battle with it, and the life was running out of him. As the boar was going towards Kev, Moy, the other dog, grabbed it, and the pig was actually on top of the dog and basically muscling it into the ground, killing it. And it had hold of the dog in its teeth, and that was Kev's chance to try and get to it. Zach picked himself off the ground and in a sort of last ditch effort picked himself up and went in and did the final hold of his life, enough for Kev to grab a back leg, get his knife out and give it the old coup de grace. I came roaring up the gully and Kev was just like, mate, Zach's dying. And actually by the time I got there he was dead. On the radio he said. So it was a really bittersweet boar. Zach had bled out. A lovely dog, white. So, the carry began. It was a long carry. It was about 2k back to the truck. And we took turnabout at getting it back there. We finally turned about, after I dropped the guts out, finally got it back to the truck, and the rest is history. And got it home to Kev's and weighed it. It was 140 pound, a big boar. But it was a sad day, you know, because he lost a good dog. It was the second dog he'd lost with me. The other dog he had got shot by a guy because he had this place in the middle of the forestry where he had pet pigs. He used to grow a bit of dope, and he used to shoot everybody's dogs that hunted up there because he was protecting his dope, and he used the pigs as being an excuse to shoot them. But the reality was the pigs were in a pen, the dogs couldn't touch the pigs. It was just a bloody rip-off. Eventually I actually gave Kev my Land Cruiser, that Land Cruiser, as a going away gift, because one day his wife said, look, you've got to choose between hunting and your family. And I said, bro, the choice is simple. Your family's always got to come first. And I shook his hand. I said, that's for you. I gave him the car keys and said, that's for you, mate. Take the truck. And occasionally I still see it driving around. That was a lot of years ago. Anyway, just a short story, but I want to share that with you. Hope you enjoyed the throwback. Cheers.